Oh, Canada. I'm Jason Klom, and I host the Comedy on Vinyl podcast. I'm listening to a comedy album a day for all of 2017 to listen to everything that I have, or at least most of it. I am going to be putting the rest of this up on youtube.com/comedy on vinyl if you're watching it here on Instagram. What I picked today is an unusual album. I grabbed it because it seemed pretty obvious what it was. It's a 1963 album that came out not, let's see, within about a year of The First Family. The First Family, if you don't know, is a great album by Bob Booker and Earl Dowd called The First Family. Jesus. Starring Vaughn Meader doing his famous JFK impression. And Rich Little, who is a Canadian comedian, well known as the man of 1,000 voices by now, decided he would, there are a bunch of albums that capitalized on this, but he would do My Fellow Canadians. And it's Rich Little with a gentleman named Les Lye. And there are a lot of voices in it. Primarily the Canadian Prime Minister in 1963. I'm an American. I was born in 1980. So much of this is over my head and reference heavy and reference dependent that it is, for the most part, lost on me. Unless it's an old joke, there are most jokes that are recognizable. Basically, to anybody now, go back to vaudeville. There are a few that are in there before vaudeville, of course, but they're easily recognizable in vaudeville. So there are a couple that make sense to me, but this is going to be the first where most was just too far above my head, over my head. That said, it is interesting that in this, not only does he play the Canadian Prime Minister, but at one point, he just has to get his JFK impression out there. That happens. What's the other interesting thing is, in the 80s, Rich Little ends up being on another quote-unquote official First Family album, The First Family Rides Again, where he plays Ronald Reagan. That is going to be one that's going to end up coming up as well as like some of the other First Family knockoffs, the First Family sequel, First Family Volume 2. The other Vaughn Meader albums are going to be fascinating. I only have this one Rich Little album, so I'm interested to see his other ones. This, from what I can tell, is actually his second album. Came out the same year as one where he did a bunch of celebrities doing A Christmas Carol, which I think would be fun because I'd probably be able to recognize most of them. It's really hard. This is so incredibly Canadian. I would love for some Canadians out there who've heard this to tell me what they think and tell me what I'm missing, okay? And it's not to insult this. I'm just trying to be very Canadian about it. I'm trying to be very polite. I just don't get it, okay? I'm certain it's funny. There's an audience laughing their asses off, okay, when you can hear them. It's a little bit rough in terms of the mix, but, mix. It's mono. But that said, it's Rich Little's My Fellow Canadians, 1963. An interesting experiment. It is the only one so far that I just, for the most part, don't get. But I'm willing to learn. Follow Comedy on Vinyl on Twitter at Comedy on Vinyl, on Instagram at Comedy on Vinyl. Subscribe on iTunes. That'd be cool. I have other podcasts at stolendress.com, the Stolen Dress Podcast Network. My movie Lords of Soaptown just came out on DVD December 6th. I've got a book out, came out a while ago, called Postmodem, The Interwebs Explained. That'd be cool to read. I have a podcast called Dispatches from Fort Awesome, where we talk about every episode of the show News Radio. You can go to bit.ly/WNYX. And let's see. Dan and Jay's Comedy Hour. That's one where my best friend and I talk about our own sketches going back to when we were 13. You can find that at danandjay.com. That's about it. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, have a good thing.